$10 a year for that magazine. I don't know how many times it comes out. I used to really look forward to it, but now there's just so much other ways to get this information that it usually just ends up on a bottom of a shelf or out in the garage. So
Yeah.
I won't miss either of those.
I mean, I know there's several magazines that you might have, maybe one in particular, or maybe your mother has all of those.
Oh, yeah, she's got some. Doug sent her a whole bunch.
That's cool, though.
Thought you were talking about my Playboy stash.
Then it made it real weird when I said your mother has all those.
Did you have one of those when you guys were a kid?
You know, we were on the cusp of that. Yeah, I've seen my fair share. Hello and welcome back to the Players Meeting, a Win Dummies production. I'm your host, Lucas Steele, and you know what? We're rocking into an amazing episode 30, the Dirty 30. And in this episode, we're going to talk all about the new PDGA membership pricing, a cat coffee catchphrase, a recap of the MVP Open from player performances to hole breakdowns. You don't want to miss it. We're even going to talk about those loud fans at the MVP Open. You can find us anywhere you get your podcasts. All you got to do is search for the words Win Dummies. And please, subscribe to us at the Disc and Deals Coverage YouTube channel and ring that bell for notifications so you don't miss a single episode. Without further ado, let's bring in the real star of the show, my co-host, the one-time world champ, Chris Smith, a.k.a. Smitty. Good evening, sir.
How's it happening?
Yeah, things are extremely well. How are you feeling after this super sick weekend of disc golf?
Oh, man, it was so much fun watching Maple Hill. Is that what they still call it? Vibram? Mm-hmm. Whatever it is. It's always been one of my favorite events to watch. They've always been really progressive with some of the things they do. The finish is always awesome, except for last year when Matty O ruined it for everybody. But this year was awesome. We had a couple of old dogs in the mix that we haven't seen much this year. And, yeah, it was great. But overall, my body is sore as heck.
Oh, from screaming so loud at the TV?
I did scream a couple of times, but that's not why. Put in some work out at one of our local courses, trying to stretch it out and make a few what I think are going to be real champion type holes that'll require shot shaping and thought on each shot, not just throwing the disc 1,000 miles, though that will be helpful. But yeah, so I spent 4 hours on Saturday cutting branches, hauling branches, lopping out undergrowth, making a crappiest bridge ever. And then I spent 4 hours again on Sunday with Mike Bailey doing it again. So we're trying to get ready. So when we do this soft opening at the Final Flights League, people can kind of get a preview of what is happening and, hopefully get some excitement built in the community and get this thing funded.
Yeah. Well, kudos to you for going above and beyond. I know you get out there and do so much of that for the community. It's not just that course. I know you do a heck of a lot with Millbrook too. So can't thank you enough for your effort, because Lord knows I'm not going to go out there and do any manual labor.
There's a lot of you.
Well, at least we know who we are, but I will always help the community in other ways, but manual labor just ain't my forte. You can tell with the body type, that's probably the case. Well, Smitty, anyways, let's jump into some action and let us start where we always start. What's poppin'? What's been happening around the world of disc golf? And before we jump into the MVP Open, why don't we start with this new pricing? Because I don't know if I'm a huge fan of this.
I mean, I don't know. What are you not a fan of?
Well, I guess my thing is I don't like that they're raising prices. I don't think anyone ever likes that they're raising prices. I do like that they're making some of the things optional, such as the magazine, the disc, the mini. I'm not ever too excited about getting that if I'm a member. But what I don't like is now I'm paying more and I'm not getting those things. So,
Well, I
I
don't think you're
mean,
paying more. My membership has been $75 for as long as I can remember. And basically, what they did was instead of charging us for those things that we don't want, like the disc and the mini, it's just not included. I mean, and I'm 100% okay with that. I don't need to get this disc and mini that I'm going to throw into a box and give away as a CTP prize. You know, if I'm a first time member or if I'm a collector, $25 isn't bad to get both of those things and have that memento of I could see people now getting it every single year. I don't even know if it was an option to get one outside of your first year.
that's true. I think the magazine was always something you got, but the disc and the mini was, I think, first time only. I thought for sure that a professional membership was $50 in the past. I know it's only $25 more, but this is my first time going into the professional realm. I thought it was always 50.
No, I'm pretty sure it's been 75, and I think these prices are the exact same. And I think that was kind of a Doug's selling point in the video. I thought it was cool he came out with a video, put
Oh, I haven't even seen it.
the main man, the executive director out there and let him kind of tell what's going on. And, $10 a year for that magazine. I don't know how many times it comes out. I used to really look forward to it, but now there's just so much other ways to get this information that it usually just ends up on a bottom of a shelf or out in the garage. So
Yeah.
I won't miss either of those.
I mean, I know there's several magazines that you might have, maybe one in particular, or maybe your mother has all of those.
Oh, yeah, she's got some. Doug sent her a whole bunch.
That's cool, though.
Thought you were talking about my Playboy stash.
Then it made it real weird when I said your mother has all those.
Did you have one of those when you guys were a kid?
We were on the cusp of that. Yeah, I've seen my fair share.
we had a small stack hidden in our hideout.
It always felt weird looking at it while other people were around, but that's just me. Anyways, we're really digressing here. Correct me if I'm wrong, everyone. I thought it was 50 for pros. So if you're a pro out there and you paid 75 always, please tell me I'm wrong. I can't wait to hear that. You seem like an Eagle member guy. Eagle Club.
No, I've never went for any of those. Looking at it, $2,000 for a lifetime membership and whatever else that entails, your name on a plaque. But that's outside of my price range. I can scrounge together $75 a year, but I'm going to have a little bit of a hard time forking over $2K.
Oh yeah, for sure. Well, let's switch gears and let's talk about a little cat coffee controversy. Just for those of you that may not know the story, Cat Merch sells coffee. Why you would buy coffee from a disc golfer, that's another story. But she sells coffee, and she named it Cat's Crack Coffee. And all of those letters had a K in the name. And so, of course, we have the KKK. Now, Smitty, do you think this was intentional, or is this just Cat being high, thinking of something silly, and making a silly brand?
I think it was both, is where I'm going to go. I think that this other company, this Ace Run Roasting, I think they actually maybe sponsor her, and that's her signature brand is the Cat Crack Coffee.
Okay.
And then I think she tried to be funny. I guess thought it was funny and post that.
She is from Arkansas, so that would maybe be funny to her.
Yeah, I mean, I think it maybe started harmless, I guess, to say that and put it out there. But in today's society, as soon as you post that screenshot and that's to 25 people, and then that doubles and triples and quadruples.
Oh, yeah.
And bad move on her part. Yeah, not very smart. And I'm guessing that she got instant backlash from a lot of people. But what was maybe even not as smart as that was her apology video. Did you watch that at all?
I did not. I did see that it was out, but I did not watch it. How did she handle it? 2 thumbs down.
Yeah, I didn't feel like she was sincere in any of it. She only apologized for hurting people's feelings. She never apologized for, the racial connotation that she put out. She never really took ownership in any of it. It just felt like she was like being that kid that's like smirking when you're getting after him type deal, which you don't know what that is, but that makes my blood boil.
Yeah.
So that's just what I felt like. It definitely wasn't sincere. And if anything, I feel like it made the situation maybe possibly worse for her.
Do you think it was more so like someone had told her she needs to make an apology video and that's what it was?
Yeah, maybe. I don't know if it was the coffee people. I don't know if it was Innova. I don't know if it was one of her other sponsors, but I can see Innova being the biggest player in that. They have the biggest stake probably in her sponsorship career. They're the ones that are probably paying all of her entry fees and keeping her on the road. But you'll have to watch the apology video and see what you think.
I'll have to watch it. I think, in my mind, you can't name it that and not know.
Yeah.
There's no way that you don't know about it. Do I think that she thought it was going to be harmless? Yes. Do I think she's an airhead and ditzy? Yes. I don't think there was any malicious intent with it. Like you said, in today's age, holy moly, there's just sharks waiting. They just want to cancel everyone. You just got to be a little bit smarter when you're in the spotlight. When you are someone that is going to get that type of attention online, you have to just be safe with what you're saying. And that sucks. But that is also a profession that she chose where she knows she's going to be in the spotlight. So she has to handle it a little bit better than that.
We're still a small portion of the community.
Sure.
And could you imagine if Caitlin Clark did something like this?
Oh, my God.
Right. Which she never would, because she has people in her corner representing her, telling her things. She probably doesn't even run her own Twitter and Instagram accounts at this point for things like this. It's probably all somebody that is being paid by her organization to make her look even better than she already does. And
that's something that, unfortunately, she didn't have the luxury of.
Yeah, we're far from that.
Kat will bounce back. She's a very likable person. I don't think it's going to be anything that cancels her. I think hopefully an eye-opener for her just on how she needs to make sure she maintains herself.
Let's hope, because we need her in disc golf. She's one of the gals that has the skill to possibly, be at the top of some of these events. We need her to be part of it, and in no possible way this ends her disc golf career.
Yeah, and I mean, she's one of those very unique personalities that, kind of Matty-O-esque in that regard, where you just like her spunk. All right, let's talk about this MVP Open, dude.
Man, let's do it.
But before we talk about performances, let's talk holes.
Yeah, man.
Okay, there were some changes. What did we think about the change to hole number 1? This new triple Mando. What were your thoughts?
Well, there's 2 changes on number 1 I think that we have to give a little attention to. But we'll start with the triple Mando. I don't hate it at all for 2 reasons. Number 1, it's better than painting those 2 trees and putting something across the top. you're going to know if you miss that. You're going to hit it. It's going to clearly go outside. It's marked well. And what is that region of the country known for? Covered bridges. Pretty sure that's supposed to represent a covered bridge. In fact, they call it what? Chipmunk Gate?
Yeah.
Which I think is hilarious. Do you know the reasoning for that?
I have no idea. Do you?
Oh, yeah, of course. At one of the really early Maple Hill events, Michael Johansson and Bradley Williams were in a playoff, and Michael Joe threw up there, and his disc took a weird reaction and like skipped and went over the wall. And when they looked at it closer, it actually hit a chipmunk possibly and flew over the wall.
Oh my God.
Yeah, so Chipmunk Gate. But, I think that I have never played Maple Hill, obviously. Well, not obviously, but I just haven't played it. And I would think that the more people that play it, the more the branches and sticks and things get broken to the right or left of the intended path. So this is the intended path. So this tightens it up. This forces them to play the hole that the designer wanted them to play. I don't hate this thing at all.
I am in agreement as far as I like that you have a for sure visual if you've hit the Mando or not. And that to me is very important, especially if they put like something up top, some type of line. That is the worst. And so I like it. And I don't think anyone that I saw, no one really had a problem with the height. It was just more left or right. And so I think it forced the right shot. I think I hate this whole, I don't hate this hole, but I hate all the trees. It's just, I understand it makes it for like an instant scramble opportunity. And you do have the option of getting it perfectly down the path. But to me, it's just, I know this has always been this way, but I don't love all of the Christmas trees. But it's a Christmas tree farm, so what do you expect?
They make more money from those Christmas trees in 2 months than they make off of disc golf the rest of the year. I'm pretty sure. So, and if you play a good shot, those Christmas trees really aren't a problem. Gannon Buhr threw that dang thing basically to the mouth.
Yeah, but I mean, Goose last round had a really good shot, it seemed, and it had the worst skip ever. You know what I mean? It's just little things like that to where, did you think it was a good shot? Did you see that shot? I guess I should.
Yeah, I saw it. I mean, it wasn't the worst shot ever, but Goose should be able to scramble for a par easily. Taking a bogey is out of the question on this hole if you can throw as far as these guys. I don't know if you saw Gannon Buhr's shot the second round.
No, you said he's nearly at the mouth?
No, that was the final round. He piped one way down there.
Oh.
The third round, this dude was so far to the right of this Mando, way out there out of position, and he just threw it to the mouth, chipped through, and took the easiest par he'd ever taken. And he's just walking and talking with Brian. Yeah, probably just going to get a par. Rick, actually, if you watch his practice rounds, he wants to sawed off into those Christmas trees.
I did see that.
He wants to flick a harp through there. So do I feel bad for Goose taking a bogey? No. Play it differently, right? How much did he lose by?
2.
Yeah. And he went OB on the last hole. So that one stroke could have been huge.
It could have been.
So could have been, should have been, would have been. The other thing was, though, they played it short the first 2 days just across the pond. And I think if you have a hole this awesome, man, you play it all 4 rounds. I think what I had heard is that Calvin actually was the one that told Steve Dodge they should play it short.
Oh, really?
So, yeah, I mean, but it was still at least short of the pond. We had people throwing OB. We had probably more 2-stroke swings than what we're seeing in the long spot. But I'm a big fan of 2-shot holes. So.
Oh yeah, absolutely, absolutely. All right, well, that's hole 1. Let's look at another hole, number 7. So let's talk about this one.
Did you see much of 7?
I think I watch like hole 1 and 2, and then I don't come back until like halfway with how my life works. So no is the answer.
7's a brand new hole.
I did watch Ricky's practice round.
Normally it played down the road. This year, pretty sure this is one they carved out of the trees a little bit and moved it just a little bit. I thought it played great. I didn't see any problems with 7 at all. 422 feet. And yeah, I thought it was a fine change to the old layout. I didn't have any issues with it.
Okay. So since I don't have an opinion on this, everyone, let's hear your opinion on hole 7. Did you like it? Did you like it better than the old one? Do we need to bring the old one back? But let's talk about the real one. This is one that I am well versed with. You had messaged me and said, hey, this hole is mean, and it looks like it played pretty mean. When Ricky did it in his practice round, he called it a par 6. He thinks it was going to play like a par 6 in the long pin. Do you know where this actually ended up playing?
You got to throw out those first round stats because they were playing in a downpour.
Yeah, that's true too.
And that thing is super duper duper up and down. So it was really slippery. Yeah, it played as the hardest hole in round 1. And in round 2, it probably also played. Yeah, it plays the hardest hole both rounds.
Yeah.
So
the question is, too hard. Was it too hard, Smitty? Or do you think with enough people playing this that this becomes a really, really good hole?
I think that they can't get to the landing zone off the tee. It takes a phenomenal drive to get to a spot where they can actually throw a second shot at the pin. A lot of times they were burning a shot. They'd be off in the crap and they would try to chip up with the putter, or, they'd have a little flick. I'm trying to see. First round, I got it on there. The first round, only 5 people got birdies, and I'm guessing they all peered the drive. If you don't peer the drive, you're throwing a putter to the bottom.
That drive is so tough.
Yeah, and if you look at the hole, this is a small gap, dude. 2 small gaps to be able to hit from way downtown and out of position. I think if, much as they would hate it, if that middle tree would come out, then guys could attack it from out of position and maybe make something happen. But you hit any of those 3 trees there in the front, you're going right in the water.
Yeah. Yeah, it reminds me of Knockwood 18, where maybe that tree in the middle doesn't need to be there, just as far as like the way to attack. Yeah, because if you're out of position at all, you can't. But I do like that approach shot. I like the idea of it. I don't think you need to remove the tree, though. I just think players will get better at that hole over time. That's what I think. I think they'll learn to play it better and better. And I think people are trying to get a little too aggressive. And you have to, I think the biggest shot is your second shot, right? As long as you get through the gap, you have to put yourself in a position on that second shot where you can have a good approach towards that green, because it's super uphill. And then that footing around where your landing zone would be on that second shot is very, very difficult.
And maybe if they would just accept the fact that 6 is going to be a good score. 6 is better than 10. There's a few 10s, there's a few 8s, there's lots of 9s and 8s. I mean, in the end, it's just who completes the course in the fewest amount of strokes.
Yeah.
But they're always in attack mode. They feel like they have to be in attack mode. Gannon Buhr got a 6-day one in the crap. And I say Gannon Buhr because
he's Gannon Buhr.
I think he's the best player. And he got a 5 the second day. So, in good conditions, it's probably doable to get a par. But in that stuff they were playing the first day, it's a big stretch. I I don't hate it by any means. I don't know if I love it yet, but I don't hate it. I don't think the other one's awesome either.
So instead of removing the tree on that approach shot, what about making a little bit more room off the tee?
Or shortening the tee pad a little bit.
Yeah.
Something. It's a looks like they're throwing Anheuser off the tee, but it still has to finish back to the left a little bit. So I just don't know if that's a very doable shot without a little bit of love.
Yeah, because it's also uphill, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
the first part is, and it's long too to that other pin. But even to the short pin, if they're out of position on the first, they're just laying up to the bottom, chipping up, taking a 4. They've learned their lesson over the years, except for Goose, who somehow threw it over the island and deep in the last round, which may have been his play.
The 4's good, right?
Yeah, 4's fine. Didn't love it, didn't hate it.
Yeah, and that's one of those things where I guess I appreciate Steve Dodge for always looking to try to improve that course and never just being satisfied with it.
The other cool thing about Steve Dodge and this event is if he tries something and it doesn't work, he doesn't stick to his guns. He'll say, yeah, that was bad. And that'll just be the end of it.
Yeah. So excited to see if it's there next year. Do you think it will be?
Yeah.
Okay.
Hole 14 got a couple new changes. They put this wall up on the short side.
Yeah.
I forget the name of it, but some plumbing company, and they put the wall deep of it as well. But you had to be aggressive. You couldn't saw it off and hit the wall, but you had to throw it at the pin to hit this back wall. How'd you like the way those two things played out?
Yeah, I like it. I like that they have to be more aggressive. And with the Matty-O ace, it just made it even more exciting. It's gonna force more aces because of the way they have to go for it.
I liked it for a different reason. I don't think it really changed the way the guys attacked the hole too much. I think maybe it encourages them to go in more. Nah, I don't think it's that much higher. But what it did do is it allowed them to hit just past the pin and not go other side of that road and have a layup. They all were having edge of the circle, scary putts for sure.
But makeable.
They canned a ton of them.
Yeah.
And the other thing is that wall sticks up above the edge of the land there. So the putts that they run and miss don't all go into the water, which is what would have happened in years past. They wouldn't even be able to run it. They'd have to lay it up there and slide it to the pin. So, yeah I think this made it a much better hole.
Yeah, that's a really good point, is thinking about how they would have to run that putt before and how far away they were off the tee shot. I didn't even think about it from that perspective. That's a very good point.
If that wall wasn't there, any disc that's hitting that thing is going another 15 to 20 feet, which is taking them out of range for sure. Yeah. And you can see it protected the spectators just behind the wall.
Yeah, that would have been a cool seat to have.
It would have been a hot seat. It would have been very popular. So now I thought 14 played great. I thought Matty-O ringing that baby up was spectacular and really cool. I wish he would have been on lead card when it happened, but for the first time in like forever, they didn't have last year, the defending champion from the previous year.
That was kind of a slap in the face, yeah.
They did it all based on Pro Tour standings.
Mm-hmm. So at least had a reason behind it.
It was fair.
All right. Let's look at this next.
Let's do it.
We got another hole.
This hole didn't have a change. This hole had a lot of fans. The 8 holes.
Yep. And they are screaming a lot.
A lot. And some people love it. Some people hate it. Some people are okay with it just being at this event. Some people wish it would go away forever. I love it.
How can you not? I mean, as a fan, like, isn't that what we want? We want people to be excited about the sport. it's the same thing with, any of those 5 at Des Moines. It's those types of things they make it exciting. Yes, it's going to be loud in other parts of the course, but it just makes it so much fun. So as a player, Smitty, do you still like it? If you're there competing.
I think a lot of that's going to depend on how you're playing.
That's true. Ain't that the truth?
So, and as much as I like it, there's also lots of parts of it that I don't like. I think the flag guys are obnoxious, running back and forth, throwing the flags. I think that having to cheer for every possible thing that can happen is fun for a while, but I think it probably gets played out. Like if you hit the wall, they do a special cheer. If you greet them, if you say, "Hey, what's up?" they'll respond back with "Hello from the 8 holes" or something. That's all choreographed. And ultimately, the tournament's not there for them to be the focal point. It's there for the players to see who's the best. But that said, like I said before, I love it. I think it's fun. I think it would probably be the most electric place to sit and watch disc golf, hanging out with those guys. I'm guessing they get rowdier and rowdier as the beer flows a little more throughout the day.
Oh, yeah. No doubt.
So I would guess that there's probably some that get a little unruly and out of control. And, we got lots of negatives for it here. Yeah. You got Dixon, who not a fan of the 8 holes. And, did you see it mess up Ezra, or should I say mess up Ezra?
I did not. What happened?
He had a long putt. I can't remember the hole. I think it was 7. Might have been after it. Might have been after the. No, because he'd have been lead card. But he had a long putt, and he was getting ready to putt, and they and he missed, of course. Rolled down the hill, went to putt again, missed again, and he was just. I think he gets pretty bent. Anyhow.
Yeah, he does.
He wasn't happy. He wasn't having fun with as much fun with them as they were having with him by any means. So
yeah, but it's kind of one of those things where I think of myself as a player, and I don't mind people talking in my backswing. I don't even in tournaments, it doesn't bother me. But if it is silent and then it happens it's game over for me. I get so upset, and then it just startles me so much. I shank, or it's not as good of a shot as it could have been. I might go OB. It's just those type of things that I think about from a player's perspective that I could understand why they get a little angry at some of that.
Most of it seems positive. I didn't see anything like if somebody throws in the water, they're not playing the SpongeBob song like they did at Emporia. But
yeah.
They're going to be there. They're going to have fun. They add to the event. I don't know what to say. Wear headphones?
Yeah. I mean, honestly, there's a lot of people that do. Give us your take on this. I want to know what you all think, because I think this is one of those things that it really just probably depends on who you are as a player and who you are as a fan. But I'd love to hear you guys' thoughts.
But it wasn't just the 8 holes that were causing problems on hole 8.
Oh, yeah.
Poor little Nick here.
Yeah. Oh, I got something for you in my basement, son.
What's that, some popsicles?
Muscly arm paper, boy.
So I want to hear your take on this before I give you mine.
So apparently this dude was a scout leader, and he had some Boy Scouts. And if anyone looks like a Boy Scout, it's Lil Nick. So, I mean, I guess I understand maybe a little bit of the confusion. And it seemed like the dude was, after he found out, he's like, "Oh, God, I'm sorry." He was very apologetic. But what's he doing there, though, to begin with? Is my kind of question.
I don't think we need to burn this guy at the stake by any means. But if you've ever been around a bunch of boys from 5th grade to probably 7th or 8th grade.
You know this well.
You know they're jackwagons. You know they're going to be in places they shouldn't be. You know they're going to be farting around. My guess is this dude was looking around and, oh, crap, one of my kids is on the T-pad. One of my kids is in the way. What? Get off of here type deal. And as soon as he realized that little Nick wasn't one of the kids, he's like, oh, crap, sorry, dude. He didn't want to interfere with what was going on. So I don't think that's the biggest thing, but I'm with you. He shouldn't be in there. Nobody should be in there. The little Nick is putting 4 feet from fans.
Yeah, I don't like that.
Well, good thing, because guess what Steve Dodge did?
Tell me.
Fixed the problem. Roped it off, pushed him back, got him back a little bit out of the way. Wait a minute. In the middle of a Disc Golf Pro Tour major, you can make changes? Yeah. You're making them for everybody, right? And you're making them to better the situation. Each round is its own entity. You could, in theory, change the rules probably between rounds as long as you made it clear to everybody. So I think moving them out of the way, getting them back a little bit, that's a scary putt. That's Gannon Buhr. So can you believe that? That dude went OB twice on this hole.
Yeah. That's
and I'll bet
unheard of.
After his putt, I'll bet he was kicking himself because that was not a Gannon Buhr fire that sucker in there. That was a try to make it, not I'm gonna drain it putt like we used to seeing from Gannon Buhr. So,
but I get it too. Little Nick looks so young, man. He does look like just like a little Boy Scout.
Yeah, they're not grabbing a hold of Big Germ.
Exactly.
James Proctor.
James Proctor had no problem. Yeah, exactly.
So I think this is better than a spotter getting jacked in the balls.
Yeah. That's true. True.
Well, yeah. Which I saw a fan get hit in the field of play. It didn't affect it much, but on the castle hole, there was people sitting over behind the tree and hit their chair. Yeah, I mean, part of the deal is the fans are just too tight in disc golf, and at this point,
and a little bit dumb. We got some real dumb fans too.
I think you have dumb fans in every sport.
Well, that's true.
We probably
no offense to anyone that's dumb.
We probably just have more dumb ones per capita. Let's talk some disc golf action, though.
Okay, let's talk about it. You want to start FPO?
Yeah, man.
All right, so I think we got to talk. If we're going to talk FPO, we got to talk Missy and we got to talk Kristen. And Kristen had a 3-stroke lead going in. I don't think she played her best golf going into that final round, but that final round got tighter and tighter.
Well, it kind of needs to start on hole 1.
All right.
Tatar out of bounds. I think the old covered bridge chipmunk gate got her. And Missy took a 3. So there's 2 strokes. We're a 1-stroke game.
Yep.
Okay. But you also forgot about somebody who was in the mix and looking like they were going to win the tournament. And that's Paige Pierce.
You're right.
The final score doesn't reflect that. It says that she got beat by 4 strokes. As these gals are playing hole 14, which were all knotted up going into 14 with Kristen and Missy, Paige was also right there. In fact, I'm not sure, but she might have been either tied or in the lead at that point. And Kristen goes a little deep on 14. Missy hits the wall, goes OB, goes to the drop zone. 4 at best. Kristen scary putt. She makes the putt. Okay, so now we got 2 strokes on those 2. We have Kristen with a 2-stroke lead. Paige on hole 17 airballs a birdie putt, goes down the hill, misses a comebacker, birdogey. Still had kind of a shot. She wasn't dead yet, but hole 18 finished her off with a OB and a 5 on that. So Paige was in it, dude. Paige had a legitimate shot at winning this tournament. If she finishes birdie and is in the clubhouse, might be a different story coming down the home stretch. But Missy hit the wall, win OB, like I said, and I thought for sure that was it. Game over.
Yeah, because there's a 2-stroke swing right there, right?
Mm-hmm. Right. They go to hole 15. Tatar parks it. Beautiful shot up the pipe. Only to be matched by Missy, and they both go birdie. They both par 16, which is fine. It was a really hard hole. They go to hole 17, which is more of a gap shot for the ladies, I think. And Kristen bombs one down there with a nice little flick. Missy puts hers down there. And Kristen completely fluffs the upshot. I couldn't believe it. Fluffed it into the trees, didn't get up and down, took a bogey. Missy throws it down into the gap and has, what was it, 50 feet probably, if not more?
Yeah, dude.
Which she missed that putt 2 prior rounds and airballed it, and she clutched up and straight drilled that sucker.
That was a huge putt.
It was amazing.
Gargantuan.
Best putt of the day to this point. And I couldn't believe what I was seeing. I'm like, we're going to a playoff. I thought, no possible way this ends any other way than a playoff.
Yep.
And both throw good drives, both lay up to the good spot.
Yep.
Kristen, who's known for her forehand up shots, is outside of Missy. Saws it off. OB. Game over. Missy lays it up, chips it in, wins.
Yeah, it's very surprising because that's one of the shots when you think of Kristen Tatar, that's her bread and butter.
Mm-hmm.
And she did it 2 holes in a row where she fluffed and then she fluffed again. 2 in a row. And is that nerves, Smitty? Do you think she was feeling nerves?
Oh, yeah. Who wouldn't be feeling nerves, right? You got probably one of the biggest galleries of the year watching you there at the Sap House up above everywhere. Fans there. You aren't having your greatest season. There's more on the line than just this tournament. If one of those 2 wins, they win the Disc Golf Pro Tour points race.
Yep.
So that was on the line, which comes with a head start at the championship, which we know is going to be huge amounts of cheddar. So yeah, for sure, she was a little nervous and probably second guessing what was going on.
You know, from a outside perspective and knowing how good Kristen is, it's just crazy that she can feel that when we all have that much confidence, or it's just crazy that she can't feel that herself in those moments. But that's what nerves will do. And congratulations to Missy.
Well, do you think that helps Missy's case for Female Player of the Year?
Well, we always say Missy wins, but Kristen wasn't there. Now Missy wins in a very, very tight battle with Kristen and such a clutch shot. How does it not help her case?
Let's just look at this for a little bit. Chess.com third. This was forever ago, but she's the Women's Disc Golf Championship champion. That was a major. She won the DDO. She won the Preserve. She won the European Disc Golf Festival. She got 3rd at the European Open. Owen wasn't in Europe, so all of those European deals are nod to Missy. I think that this may have helped solidify her as a possible player of the year.
I mean, it got her the points lead. Man, yeah, you're right. I didn't, she just wins here and there, and I just didn't realize she had so many. Yeah, man. All right, Missy.
She might be it.
How sneaky. What a sneaky, like, for someone that has won that many tournaments, how sneaky is that? Let's talk about her final round, though.
Oh, yeah.
That wasn't sneaky.
No. There she is. It was, 10?
10:38.
So the fifth highest rated round of the year at the most clutch time.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. What a round. And what a putt on 17. Whew.
Yep.
Congratulations to Missy.
Absolutely. That's great for her.
But I do feel sorry for Kristen. Even though she is Kristen Tatar, I feel sorry for her. I don't like to see anyone have a lead and then shank 2 shots and let pressure get to them. Take a look at this, Smitty. Kristen has played the MVP Open 4 years in a row now. It's the only time she's played it. She's never won. She's finished second every single time. Do you know why I think she hasn't won?
Nope.
She doesn't want to jump in that nasty pond.
I didn't think James Proctor wanted to jump in that pond either.
You're spoiling things, Smitty.
There's no spoilers. Everybody knows what happened. So, can you be mad at getting second 4 years in a row? I'd be pumped. I would be pumped.
I like the amount of money I'm getting, but no one wants to be the first loser.
That's true. And
to be that close, I think, makes it worse.
Maybe if she was somebody like me who hadn't won a gazillion majors and big events, second place might sting a little bit more. If I was to ever get second place at one of these things, I'd be like, yeah, bro, I got second.
Yeah, think about Ricky. Think about Ricky this year. Do you think he's happy with second?
That poor dude, man. Let's get into that a little bit.
All right. Let's talk the men's side.
Let's do it. It was awesome. Oh, there we go. We're done.
All right. That was it. It was awesome. It was sensational. Talk about so many people in contention. That's when a tournament gets exciting. You had Chase cards having an opportunity to win this thing. I don't know how much of this we want to talk about. We know a lot of people have seen it. Where do you want to start here, Smitty?
Let's start with Rick.
Okay.
It looked like Rick was going to bury these dudes early. He was feeling it. He was cashing every putt. He was, man, I was for sure there was going to be no reason to watch the last 5 holes.
Yep. So Ricky started in first, a tie with Goose going into the round. He gets 4 of the first 5. You're feeling it. You're feeling the energy. Ricky is doing some fist pumps, and he's getting himself jacked. But then a little trouble on 6, but he bounces right back on 8. And then 9 is a tough hole, and it got him as well.
You know, he was still tied for the lead at that point. But 14, Rick made the only mistake off the tee that you can't make. He threw it OB long and had to go to the first drop zone, which is basically the ladies' tee, which is a up and down nearly every time for Rick. He took 0.25 seconds to think about his shot and put it right underneath there. And that's when I started to feel sorry for Ricky, because this was the 3rd or 4th tournament in a row where he's right there. He's got a shot, and you can just see the wind just leave the dude's sails.
Oh, yeah. Right when he went OB. Yeah, I was surprised. He went so straight. I mean, I saw his practice round. That seemed like such an easy shot for him, but he was jacked, I think. And man, it super sucked. He put it right into the basket, but then his drive on the next hole.
That's the thing with Rick, man. You know he's gonna spray a couple here and there, and he wasn't clean coming down the stretch. The drive on 15 was no good. The drive on 16 was no good. The save on 16 was baller.
But yeah, it was stupid. Oh, man. When he made that, that's when, like, you could really just see all of his face. He didn't even want to, like, thank the fan.
Yeah, he knew.
He forced a smile.
And then let's go Gannon Buhr. Worst he's played all year.
Absolutely.
and terrible finish, third place.
That's what's crazy. How can you? I mean, honestly, he did not play good and tie 3.
And he's never out of it. In fact,
stupid.
Kevin Babbitt was sending me a message talking smack because we're still going on with this argument that we started last week. Still going. And he said, Rick's going to put him in their coffins early. And I said, yeah, you're right. He's looking like it. But I'll bet you $100 right now Gannon Buhr's in it going into hole 14. And he said, I don't want to take that bet. And, of course, Gannon was. But hole 8 pretty much dashed his hopes.
Yeah. Yeah. He just wasn't putting as well as I've seen him putt. It just seemed a little off.
And slow starts 3 of the 4.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, even the final round, he wasn't too hot in the front 9 for sure. Now let's go Goose.
Talk about someone I feel sorry for.
Not me. Why?
Yeah,
Why would you feel sorry for him?
I think it was his putt on 14. He's in it. He has every chance to take the lead or right there, at least tie for the lead. And he just gets in these situations where his emotions get the best of him. He couldn't even get the dang putter above the cage. And then what hole was it where it was just a terrible drive?
And he yelled at himself.
Yes.
Really good, dude. Hole? Really good.
Yeah. Anyways, it's just, I feel sorry for him because he's come close a lot of times to winning. And I know you're a little bit salty with Goose because he likes to complain about courses. But I still feel sorry about someone that's been that close that many times. I just want him to get one.
He will. He'll get one as soon as he starts to putt a little bit better.
Yeah.
I mean, the women can get by on bad putting. You can't be a bad putter and win in the men's division. You can only throw the disc so well. And in fact, somebody early in the day posted on the Heiser Knot page something go Goose or whatever. And I said, yeah, I feel an unfortunate missed putt coming up. And he didn't miss any, but he didn't take any either. He played so safe. He was still in it, dude, coming into hole 14.
He was.
If he puts that under the pin instead of shanking the upshot, he gets he had a shot at taking a 3, 2 strokes. He ties.
Well, 14 is the.
No, 18 is what I'm thinking of.
Oh, okay,
now.
Okay. You said 14.
Oh, my bad. 18. He had a shot at 18 to get a birdie, and
yeah, honestly, you're right. You're absolutely right. It was just his approach, right?
Yeah, and I text Ronnie multiple times. Don't think about Portland. Don't think about Portland. Don't think about Portland. And he sawed it off short, and I said he thought about Portland because that's how he lost to Hammies was a bad upshot.
Yeah, dang.
So I feel sorry for him for that. That's hard to. That's tough, and it's just tough to throw 2 of them away on a shot that he could go out there with that same disc and do 10 out of 10.
Oh, for sure. Because that's another one kind of like with Kristen. When I think of Goose's game, that shot's right in his wheelhouse.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I only talked about Portland and this, but he could have been a world champion.
You're right.
But he flipped the disc off the island. So probably the same disc, probably a jawbreaker zone or zone of some sort.
Yeah, whatever it is.
So that's too bad for him, but he lost it on the putting green. It wasn't that last shot that cost him.
He did.
But before we get to the man of the hour, let's talk about the man of disc golf ever, the GOAT.
All right.
Mr. McBeast, baby.
Talk about a stretch towards the end. Not to say that his front 9 was bad by any means. This dude was on fire the whole round. But that final stretch is a tough stretch to go 6 birds in a row.
unless you're Paul Macbeth.
Yeah, and beast mode was activated, and that was fun.
I was rooting for him.
Dude, how could you not? He's chase card. And this tournament had saw 2 chase card champions 2 years in a row. Was about to be 3. And Paul played out of his mind.
Yeah.
1084 rated.
That last round?
Yeah.
Yeah. And once again, Kevin Babbitt and I are going back and forth at each other. And this is the first round. Paul shot really well the first round as well. And he comes into 18 and he's out of position and he attacks the green and goes out of bounds. And simultaneously, I hit send and my phone rings. I sent idiot. Babbitt sent me idiot at the same time, because it would have taken a miracle to get that on. And he lost by a stroke.
Yeah.
Every stroke matters on a course this hard. Every hole. And with the fields the way they are, every single shot counts. Goose going OB or missing the Mando on hole 1 last round. Every one of those shots matters so much. So, yeah, but I was really hoping for him. I wanted to see a playoff. I have a hard time rooting against James, though, because I love James. I think James looks like you look at him, you can just tell that he's just seems like a real cool cat that people want to gravitate towards. So let's talk about James.
Let's talk about him. This dude was rock solid the entire round. Didn't seem like he could get flustered at all. He had a few bad breaks. He got a bogey on 7, but after that bogey, he just put it into high gear and was just consistent, smooth, with the kind of things you expect from James Proctor. And then around the putting green, it was nasty. I can't remember the one he hit that no one was really talking about, but it was in the woods. It was kind of that one that goes kind of downhill, and he had gotten through sneaky on the left-hand side, and he hit a pretty deep putt, and no one was talking about that one. But that one, I think, put him in the lead at the time, and that's really where I was like, this dude's going to win.
Let's talk about this putting in the back 9.
Okay.
Hole 10, 32 feet. Hole 11, the one you're talking about, 40 feet.
Okay, that's the one.
Hole 14, 33 feet right at the pond. Hole 15 and 16, 28 feet. All edge of the circle. 16 was a killer putt. That was sick. 17, only 13 feet, but he threw awesome drive and the softest little barely clear the hill slide down up shot you've ever seen. And then we get to 18.
Oh, this was crazy.
Bad drive.
Not the greatest.
Overcooked. Lucky to hit the tree. Lucky to end up in the fairway.
Yeah.
I wanted to choke slam Nate Doss going off about that little bitty tiny bridge that was beyond his lie. Oh, this is terrible footing. This is.
Yeah, I mean, he's not doing much. He's going to pitch up.
That dude had 15 stances that round that were worse than that one. And one of them was on hole 4's tee pad. So, yeah. So I didn't feel like the stance was as big of a deal as what Nate made.
I don't either.
James had strokes to play with. He made the right play. He laid it up.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't know the scores.
Which is weird.
That's commitment to not look at those.
Yeah, I mean, that's how a lot of people do it. And it's so weird when you don't know.
So then goes up to his approach shot and misses the island.
Yeah.
To which I screamed. And I didn't know if it was a happy scream, a shock scream, or a sad scream.
I think it was a happy because you wanted nothing more in the world than to see Paul win that and it to go into a playoff. It had to have been happy. Paul's your guy.
Yeah, I'm a Paul guy, but I got a lot of dudes.
That's how I am too. I just try to root for everyone. It's hard. Like, I feel bad for everyone. But we know there's only going to be one winner, but it's tough when you're rooting for everyone because there's so many great players and good people on tour. But so he misses it.
And I couldn't believe what I was seeing. I'm like, oh my gosh. I felt sorry for James at this point.
Oh yeah. Me too.
I haven't felt sorry for any of these other dudes you've mentioned, but I felt bad for James. Like, okay, it's all right. Get up and down. Go to a playoff. Give yourself a chance. Paul McBeast is probably like, yeah, baby. And then I screamed again.
Yeah, James stepped up to that drop zone and
46 feet.
2 days in a row, nails the putt. This one with so much more pressure. And this time he knew the score. He asked Allie, he said, hey, what happens if I make this? She said, you win. And he nailed it. And maybe the greatest moment since the holy shot.
It's pretty good.
I don't know if there's a better one because oh man, that was a I don't get loud and scream. I screamed at the TV at that one.
And I think knowing the situation, knowing that if he makes that, he wins, took a lot of the pressure off because it wasn't make it to go to a playoff. It was make it and you win, miss it, you go to a playoff. That's two completely different things. So that probably, I mean, he still had to be anxious as heck to putt through two dang trees.
Two little trees with
from 50 feet with
some of the biggest crowd.
That was awesome though.
It was so fantastic, bro.
That was great. And spoiler alert, you can see that putt at the end of this show.
Yeah, that's going to be our 19th hole. There's no doubt about it.
No doubt, man. That was amazing.
It was so good. And I mean, honestly, if that didn't happen, Missy's putt on 17, I think, takes it easily. But that putt and that moment, oh, like I said, biggest moment, I think, since the holy shot.
It was pretty sick, that's for sure. So it was a great weekend of disc golf. A lot of people did awesome. Let's see how we did with our picks. Give us the intro.
Oh, no. All right, let's take a look at that now. We're going to jump into it. Dun, 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 dun. Weekly picks. All right, Smitty.
Oh, man. Here we go, buddy.
You this week.
That's right. Mono y mono. So stinks. Who does worse? I went Adam Hammis.
Yep. I went AB, and they're good friends, disc golf or Discraft. And I think AB did way better than I wanted him to. Top 15, AB. What are you doing? That's not a stink. That's better than you've played for a while now.
That's pretty solid. And it was a very quiet top 15. I didn't hear anything about the dude the whole time. I didn't hear anything about Adam either. And I'm trying to look real quick at what I'm pretty sure I looked up his average finish. Maybe I didn't. Maybe I just gave myself the green because AB did so good.
Yeah, you deserved it.
Yeah. I get the dub here.
Yeah, you get the dub, a top 15 finish. And if you choose a stink in the top 15, unless someone picks a worse stink, they got to get the red. So
there we go.
I'll own it. Ooh. Yeah. So what happened? So you took Paul, the young kid from the area, and I took Evan Smith as the sleeper. How'd this one shake out?
Well.
Oh, no. He DNF'd?
Yeah. And then I found out some intel after last week's podcast. Thanks a lot, Silent K, that Paul was injured. And Greg would know that because Paul's an MVP guy, and I'm sure he knows. He's probably president of the MVP fan club. So
he's right up there.
And then you got the green because your boy Evan there got
20th, and I think 20th. He averages 20th. So
23rd.
23rd. All right.
So 3 the right way. So you
3
got
the right way, and he finished the tournament. So that's going to help me out.
That does help tremendously. Turns out. Then.
I just want to let you know that you said I think Eagle's going to win. Like you had thoughts that he was going to win as well. So I don't feel so bad, but Eagle did not show up.
If you wouldn't have taken Eagle, I would have been on him. And he probably would have won had I picked him. So this is a no-brainer. I get the green. You get as red of a point as you can get.
Yeah, and that was a curse. It was, man. It so was.
That was bad.
Gosh, darn Eagle.
There we go. So
I'm so sorry, dude. That's
our picks for the week, and some weeks we got it, some weeks we don't. This week we kind of
I would say
did.
You had it. Paul really let you down there. And
Paul frickin' Crayons.
Yeah. Is he going to be your next Joe Freeman?
Joe frickin' Freeman. Those two guys. I'm going to put them some island off isolated. I'm never picking either again.
So just remember, next week, we're going to be doing our picks for USDGC.
Yep.
We're going to have Lando on the show.
Little Landon.
Bringing him back. Little Landon. And we're bringing in Brandon Knopf. So we'll have Brandon and Landon, and they'll go against each other. And we'll, of course, all go against each other as well. And let's see if I can maybe get 2 greens one time. It's been a while.
You cannot. You know what else we get to bring back next week?
What?
The DOS line.
Oh, shoot. He is playing USDGC. Okay.
Yeah, maybe.
All right. I won't spoil where I'm going to put him. But make sure you tune in next week. Smitty, we did it.
About time. We've been at it for a while.
Well, we've been at it because we had some connectivity issues, but we solved them. I think we figured some things out. So if it was a little choppy at first, don't worry. It will never be ever again because we've got this thing figured out.
Maybe.
Well,
we got it figured out today.
We did. Smitty, shout outs for the week. You got anyone?
Mike Bailey for always being willing to put his own life on hold and support me and Wichita Disc Golf and whatever we're going to tackle. And I am excited for this Saturday for the Kansas Junior Disc Golf Championships in McPherson. I think we got just under 40 people. We got, Scott Reek hooked it up big. He sent me a Moonshine Air Sapphire and the Mini for each kid.
Wow.
Yeah, so each kid's going to get one of those. June with what Aunt Bonnie Minis, is that what she calls herself?
Yeah.
She hooked us up with minis for all the kids.
Oh, that's awesome.
Nolan Ramser and Scott Ramser hooked me up with a box of discs to divvy out to all the kids and make it more awesome. My friends at Millennium, mainly Lindy, is hooking us up with a I don't know what disc it is. I got the bill and paid it, but I didn't look at the disc. But they're getting some sort of a Helio disc and an umbrella from Millennium. The Air Capital Disc Golf Club has sent us, given us money to buy lunch, and I think I'm going to buy some snacks and some drinks for the first round. to hook them all up. I don't know. Maybe I'll get them all jacked up on Mountain Dew. Be awesome. Yeah. So yeah, it's going to be an awesome event. I'm probably Dougie Fresh with the PDGA, Dougie Bierkus, sent me a bunch of stickers and PDGA swag. So if you want to save about $10 on that entry fee, but no, and then all of the people who sponsored entry fees. So most of these kids are playing for free. So it's going to be awesome.
Yeah. And this is your third year running it?
I think so.
Yeah, it's cool. It's such a cool thing, and I love we can get all these kids out there and so many different people to thank for that. So really, really cool. I got a shout out just for Sean Ayton, who did some catch cam for me, but also ran my flights league while I was away doing some drone footage for Foxtail Farm. And if you've never seen this course, get ready. It's Cooper Arnold's course, and Coop is a treat of a human being. Got to meet him and his wife and his kiddos and his in-laws, and yeah, so the whole family was there, and it's an amazing course. So I can't wait till y'all see it. We're gonna do something a little bit special on this one that we've never done on one of the drone footages, so stay tuned for that. But other than that, we're gonna jump into the 19th hole. You already know what it is, so let's take another look at this amazing putt from James Proctor to seal the deal at the 2024 MVP Open. And we hope we see you on the next one. Take care. Bye-bye now.
Played by McBeast and Proctor.
Aggregate playoff
Now, he made this yesterday.
for the win.
Unbelievable! James Proctor! Oh my gosh!
It's the putter that does it for James Proctor. Exactly how you'd expect it. That is so incredible.
One of the best moments on the Disc Golf Pro Tour in 2024. James Proctor finishing the season right.